And love is 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 love, cannot be killed or swept aside.
Love is love is love. Well said, Lin-Manuel. I couldn't agree more. Love is the purpose of our existence, where we came from, and what we seek. You don't need to be attracted to the opposite sex in order to love. While love is not confined, marriage, which should certainly contain love, is something different. It's a gift from God and defined by God. Marriage is marriage is marriage. While marriage equality sounds nice and makes a good bumper sticker, what exactly does that mean? Does it mean that there shouldn't be any limits on marriage? Everyone puts limits on what marriage should consist of. Yet those same tolerant people get angry with Christians who define marriage as between a man and a woman. For example, the most liberal-thinking LGBT supporter would agree that a 6-year-old child should not be allowed to get married. Where is the marriage equality there? Most people would agree that people of the same family shouldn't be allowed to marry each other, or one should not be allowed to marry an animal or an object, or multiple people, or themselves. Most accept that marriage shouldn't be temporary, or that marriages should be open to relationship without faithfulness to your spouse. Sounds like a lot of restrictions. So we all put restrictions and define marriage regardless of our religious affiliation. Why is there such a contention towards Christians who are consistent with the entirety of human history with their definition of what marriage ought to be? The book of Genesis says, "Therefore a man should leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Should marriage be defined by the popular opinion of a society, or by God, who created this sacrament as a sign of His love for us? I truly and strongly believe that marriage, real marriage, can only be defined by its creator, like only an artist can define her work.
That marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
Morality doesn't change like popular trends do, because morality comes from God and He doesn't change.
To the sanctity of marriage, or to the fundamental bedrock principle that it exists between a man and a woman going back into the mists of history.
Since I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, does that mean that I must hate gay people? Absolutely not. I love gay people. I see them no differently than anyone else. They are awesome children of God the Most High. All of our worth and value is equally infinite. Okay, since I love gay people, does that mean that I agree with every decision they make? No again. I believe that sex is sacred, so sacred that it is reserved for marriage. Sex is not like a hamburger. I'm hungry, so I eat. I think too highly of sexuality and the human person to agree with misusing sexual desires to satisfy our cravings. People are made to be loved, not used. When we lust and act out of lust, we're not living up to the standard that we were created to live. This applies within marriage too. A valid marriage must be faithful, must be fruitful, open to children. It must be forever, and it must be full, total, acceptance, fertility and all. Chastity, abstaining from unethical sexual intercourse, is a virtue for all of us, regardless of our sexual preference. Yes, we can commit sexual sin even with our spouse if we act selfishly and out of lust. I know this is a challenging and high standard to strive to live up to. We are all called to great responsibility and discipline with the great gift of our sexuality. Although I have many friends who don't practice the sexual morality given by the Catholic Church, I don't judge them, and we remain close friends. I still don't agree with some of their actions, and the closer I am to them, the more willing I am to go out of my comfort zone and encourage them to the higher standard that God created for all of us. Whether you're attracted to the same sex or to the opposite, you and I are called to be holy, to be disciplined, virtuous, and to live chastity. Your identity is far more than your sexual preference. You are loved regardless of your desire, and the discipline that you show to practice those desires rightly is what matters. We are created with different crosses and are called to pick them up daily and follow after Jesus with our entire mind, body, and soul. Our culture is hyper-sexualized. This makes any disagreement with how to live out our sexual desires a very sensitive topic. I understand the sensitivity of this important topic, and I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't claim to experience what you may be experiencing, but I love you too much to call you to any lower standard than the one given to us by love himself. Just because I don't agree with certain lifestyle decisions doesn't mean that I cannot love you, and doesn't mean that those who disagree with us can't still respect and get along with each other. Truth and love must go hand in hand. And so while I love you and challenge you and care for you, I also must abide and call you to the truth that we were made to live by.
As one of the foundational institutions of history and humanity and civilization, and that its primary principal role during those millennia has been the raising and socializing of children for the society into which they are to become adults.